Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Look, we're not gonna take too long. This stream isn't gonna be a very long stream. I wanted to combine about two or three, actually four, goddamn four videos. I guess I'll put the links in the description after the fact. Um, so we are reviewing Amala. What's her last name? How do you pronounce her last name? It's a light skin or mixed African young lady. She's more on the conservative bent. So like, just think of a lighter skin Candace Owens that's less snarky, slightly less snarky. Um, Ek Pundo. I'm not even gonna try. You know what? I'm not gonna butcher her name by trying. So we're just gonna leave that one alone. So we are reviewing a couple of videos she's made over the past year or so. I think the older one is about 7-8 months old, and the newer one is about 2 to 3 months old. Um, where she pretty much highlights black women talking crap about black men and how they're expanding their options or dating white men is so much better. We will also be reviewing, like the thumbnail says, misogyny or being misogynistic, because Miss Kim Foster think that her man is not misogynistic. Dot dot dot. Unlike these other Negroes who get off on this, right? This speaks to black women who say, these men who think being toxic or having toxic masculinity is a character trait. Okay, yeah, whatever. Says the group of women that get off on being snarky, mean, condescending, belittling, insulting a-holes, specifically to black men, and doing the woe is me in front of white folks and non-black folks, so that you could maybe land you sympathetic Brad or Becky. All right. Anyway, and then we will also be commenting a little bit about Samantha Cooker and her review of this bad wig soft life or hard wig soft life trend. And her pretty much, and this is where we get into the anti-blackness of respectability politics, which is like, once again, Samantha Cooker is saying something that I've seen other black women say, which is, if you stop catering to the black aesthetic, if you stop catering to what black men find appealing and attractive, then you could get you a white man. And I know that we have our own reasons for not finding these loud, obnoxious colors attractive, and the long claw nails, and the different color weaves, the fuchsias and the pinks and the purples. We have our own reason in the black manosphere. With that, there is something to be said about being very careful about black women using respectability and appealing to white men to say we are going to shun these quote unquote urban styles, ghetto stuff, ghetto-ish, so that we can appeal to white men. So we can appeal to non-black men. So we can, in other words, we need to get slim and thin for white men. We need to be attractive for white men. We need to drop all of this quote unquote urban style and this ghetto-ish for white men. Look when they want to get their mind right. Right? Look when they want to get their mind right. Right? So it's, and oh yeah, we're doing all of this respectable stuff where we're getting rid of the claws and the jagged edged fingernails. We are growing out our natural hair. We are wearing nicer dresses, and we are dropping the highlighter colored weave and the super long eyelashes, but we're doing it so we can be appealing to non-black men, specifically white men. Look when black women decide to get their mind right. I'm just saying, right? And these same women then turn around and call black men sexist, racist, colorist, featurist, texturist men. These same women that say, I'm not doing anything that you find appealing, you lesser beings. I didn't say men because they don't see black men as men. They see black men as boys and tools. But I will dress a certain way and act in my best behavior, and I'll turn down all of this ghetto hood-ish, right? All this urban style. I'll turn all of that off I get rid of all of that for the one-off chance that a white man will pick me, specifically a white man of some status, right? Thank you. Thank you from Africa I came. Changing their aesthetic for the white male gaze. And that's all. And that's all. And then if you go through, and non-black people are so damn slick, they use black women to hide behind and say all their racist anti-black stuff about black men. So Missy Amala, once again, the lighter skin, or I think she might even be mixed, African sister commentator, leans to the left. For the and Miss Amala, you could. I'm pretty sure you have a white boyfriend. I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain you could stop hiding your anti-black sentiments behind these other black women. Dear white racist folks, you could stop hiding your anti-black sentiments behind these black racist, behind these black. Well, I said it the way I meant it. Behind these black racist women, right? So all this is how everybody's doing it now. So black women are so happy to oblige. So what everyone is doing now is allowing for black women to do the woe is me. Black men are sexist and colorist and featurist and texturist and mean to black women, and they speak so positively about non-black women, and they treat non-black women so great and so good, unlike how they treat us as black women. So everyone's hiding all of their racism behind black women's angst about relationships with black men. So this is the more recent way of getting your ish off, right? Getting all your anti-black ish off is hiding behind black women that talk crap about black men. And Miss Amala is so happy to oblige, and she's pretending like, oh no, it's not black women, whatever. Alrighty then. And in her comments for both videos, Miss Amala, are a bunch of non-black people. Yeah, I got a coworker who black man. He's always talking negatively about black women, and and I have a black girlfriend. She So it's a bunch of racist white folks, anti-black, non-black folks hiding their anti-blackness behind black women and them talking negatively about black men. It's the same thing Joe Scarborough engages in. And by the way, Miss Amala is more conservative. I told you, Obsidian, you keep on calling brothers on the left, huh? Limp wristed and round jaw and all that other stuff. That sound nice. There's a whole lot of anti-blackness going on in the conservative side of things, huh? Black women over there are doing the woe is me, black men ain't ish thing too, and they getting the white racist conservatives to jump in on it too, huh? Oh, you said running back 30 seconds. I'm saying the same thing I just said 30 seconds ago, which is once again a whole lot of and under Miss Amala, and somebody please tell me how to pronounce her last name. Under Miss Amala, the light skinned conservative African, I think she might even be mixed black woman. Under her video is a whole lot of non-black folks saying some pretty sketchy things, some pretty anti-black things under the guise of speaking up for black women, speaking about their experiences with black women, speaking about black men, obviously negatively, speaking about their experiences with black men who speak negatively, apparently, about black women, right? And it's a whole lot of non-black people hiding their racism and anti-blackness behind black women. And black women like Miss Amala are too happy to oblige, right? They're too happy to oblige. So, and like I said about Miss Samantha Cooker, um, it's very interesting to see how black women frame this, especially in relationship to white men, right? There's black women, excuse me, there's white men in Miss Amala comments. I've been married to a black woman for this amount of years, and she's great, and she's wonderful, and da 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 da. Right? I said it before. These people are gonna raise some seriously anti-black, white supremacist, white worshiping, anti-black male mixed children. Anybody want to say Miss Amala? Oops. You imagine a white racist conservative man and his anti-black black wife, his anti-black man black wife. You imagine what type of daughters and sons they're raising? Yes, that's the last name. Thank you, Jake. That's the last name. Right. So there's that. And finally, um, because this person think they're the final boss, so let's address them as such. Even though they're not. Wow, final boss. Yawn. Um, Kim Foster. Okay. So Kim Foster did a live where she spent the last few minutes addressing her man and congratulating him. I'm not gonna say too much about that. Um, and speaking about him not being misogynistic, right? In comparison, obviously, Ekpuknobi. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Nema. Ekpunobi. Um, so, and thank you very much, Nema. So we have Kim Foster saying her man is not a misogynist, and it's like one of those statements where like unlike, right? She finished it there, but it's like really my man is not a misogynist. Unlike obviously you black men over there, you black manosphere Negroes, and this is a word that we've seen FD use about the black manosphere. We've seen Kim Foster use it. We've seen other black women, um, academics, and definitely these talking heads and these pundits speak about black men, and they say misogynist because they can't say patriarchal because what black patriarchy, right? So let's go through the definition of misogyny, right? Misogyny is hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women or girls. It is a form of sexism that can keep women at a lower social status than men, thus maintaining the social roles of patriarchy. Misogyny has been widely practiced for thousands of years. First, if there was any black misogyny, that got destroyed with slavery, absolutely nuked with slavery. If there was any black, if there was any black misogyny when black people were getting on those slave boats, that's if we grant you that the tribes on the west coast of Africa, the tribes on the west side of Africa were practicing misogyny, right? Let's say, okay, fine, for argument's sake, they were. That got nuked the second they got captured. So that's number one. Definitely, there was no black no black patriarchy that survived um, American slavery. I would say Western slavery in general, but definitely American slavery. So there's that. Okay, fine. Then to say misogyny as if black men are misogynistic, right? A particular brand of misogyny, a very pernicious, ugly form of misogyny, right? Now, here it says hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against black women. Excuse me, women or girls, not just black women or girls, but in this case, we're speaking about black women, right? It is a form of sexism that can keep women at a lower social status. Now, lower social status. Now, this is where you hear about misogynoir, and misogynoir is practiced obviously by black men and non-black folks. Now, misogynoir, right? And this is how misogyny kind of directly affects black women. It's a very specific brand of misogyny that affects black women. Huh. Okay. Lower social status. Now, the black community, in the black community, Kim Foster wants us to believe that in the black community, black women occupy a lower social status than black men in the black community. This is why you're so full of crap in that Harvard degree. You like to hide behind it while you spew out these horrible, factually inaccurate, historically inaccurate takes. Miss Foster. Miss Foster wants us to believe that inside the black community, with white racist society letting you know they don't find black women as a threat, Kim Foster wants us to believe inside the black community, with black women in droves going to see The Color Purple, inside the black community, with women like Tina Knowles looking at her ex-husband like he was a piece of crap, and black women clapping it up for her, inside the black community, where you have women like Tiffany Cross telling black men to get behind, next to, behind black women, inside the black community, where black men are shamed for their voting patterns, or their potential voting patterns, for about 20% of them who might vote for Donald Trump. Inside the black community, where black women like Susan Rice can openly, in everyone's face, threaten Snoop Dogg, a world famous rapper. Inside the black community, where Gayle King and Oprah could put on their white woman waterwork tears and pretend like they weren't trying to press another black woman, Lisa Leslie, to give them a Kobe Bryant was a monster story. They wanted a Kobe Bryant was a monster story, and the black community accurately assessed that's what this lady was trying to do. How did I forget her name? I just said it. Right? Gayle King. Gayle King trying to press Lisa Leslie to give her a Kobe Bryant was a monster story. Lisa Leslie did not give her that story. And inside the black community, Miss Kim Foster is telling us black women occupy a lower social status than black men. Thank you. Inside the black community, where Ebony K. Williams can call black men mediocre, right? Where she could, I'm not even going to go there. It's too easy. It's too easy, right? Inside the black community, where women like Miss Amala can make these kind of low-level hit pieces against black men, and in her own way explain why so many black women are attempting, emphasis on the word attempting, to flock over to non-black men, specifically white men. Let's call a thing, right? Inside the black community, where we have the Chrissies and the Lexus Exodus and the Cynthia G's. Cynthia G was able to run amok for a few years, literally advocating for the abortion of black boys, of black male babies. But yet, black women occupy a lower social status inside the black community. Right? So, when FD Signifier and when Kim Foster call black men misogynistic, called the black men in the black manosphere misogynistic, and we see that misogyny upholds patriarchy. Wait a minute, what patriarchy in the black community are black men upholding? What patriarchy? I'll wait. Huh? Inside the black community, where black women are calling into the Obama White House doing the, well, why don't you have something for black women when black boys and men have this little $100 million? It's little, but it's not little. Little $100 million that's not even government backed. This My Brother's Keeper plan for men and boys at risk youth. So it wasn't even on paper technically specifically for black boys. And black women are calling in to Obama's White House to say how this is not fair. And that is the black community that Miss Kim Foster wants us to believe when she uses the word misogyny and misogynistic, right? That's the black community that Kim Foster wants us to believe puts black women at a lower social status. A black community that allows for Paris Malone to call black men nakers, which she got from a racist white woman. Inside that black community, black women are of lower status than black men, right? Black women have more college degrees than black men, and yet black women occupy lower social status, right? Ugh. Black men were shamed for the handful of them that didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. And inside a community where you could shame men for their voting patterns, the black women occupy a lower status than the men. The black women occupy a lower social status than black men, when black women can openly shame black men for a handful of black men that voted in a direction that those black women deem as undesirable. And this misogyny helps to uphold patriarchy. Once again, what patriarchy exists in the black community? I'll wait. Right? A black community where Simone Sanders says to black men, no one asks you for your unsolicited opinions. That's the community where black women occupy a lower social status, right? Mm-hmm. uh, right? It's fascinating listening to black women do the woe is me, right? Black men aren't stepping up. Black men are losers. Black men are colorists. Black men are features. Black men are texturists. Black men aren't white men, right? A black community where Amanda Marianne can frame black women speaking about all this swirler talk. Oh, sorry, no. The hard wig soft life. As in, black women, they're working so hard. I understand why they would want to be with a rich white man because, and in all that open space of what she's not saying, but everybody understands, are black men ain't ish. Black men are lazy, shiftless bums who ain't pulling their weight. And don't you get it? Don't you understand why black women don't want to be, I dream of labor and working so hard. And, they hold the black community up on their back. And yet black women occupy what? A lower social status than black men inside the black community? Once again, let's read that definition of misogyny again. Misogyny is hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against black women or girls. It is a form of sexism that can keep women at a lower social status than men, thus maintaining the social roles of patriarchy. Misogyny has been widely practiced for thousands of years. Misogyny. And we are to believe there's another definition of misogyny, and it is a person who dislikes, despises, or strongly prejudices against black women. Now, There are more black women and girls than black men and boys in America. Black women occupy more high positions than black men. Black women are more college educated than black men. The dominant society, white society, allows for black women to occupy their spaces more than black men. And in that, we are to believe that if black men, once again, by the definition of misogyny, or misogynist better yet, if black men were a bunch of persons who disliked, despised, or strongly were prejudiced against black women, that those people would be effectual in hurting and harming black women. So let's say black men are misogynist, which they're not. Let's say the black manosphere was misogynist, which it's not, against black women. What power would these men have to enact what? Their sexist will against black women? And what would that look like? First of all, we're establishing that black women occupy more of these positions than black men do. They're around more white people with power and influence than black men are. And yet somehow black men's misogyny, the black manosphere's misogyny, does what to black women? This fictitious misogyny, what does it do to black women? Miss Kim Foster. This is the same woman that claimed we don't know how to read data, right? Huh? Misogyny. You have black women right now begging white men to take them on. You have black women right now fully insulting, demeaning black men just for the off chance that they could get some white sympathetic peen. Right? That they could get the ear of an influential, maybe powerful white woman that'll flick a couple of crumbs out to black women. You have Goldman Sachs, at least at one point before Ed Blum got a hold of them, wanting to help black women at the tune of $10 billion in a vacuum. Not black men, not black people, black women. When Ice Cube was on Queens and Cocktails, by the way, that's a show full of black women, speaking about his plans for the upliftment of black people, black women on Queens and Cocktails, made sure to let Ice Cube know, no, wait a minute, black women are separate and apart and different than black men. And yet, we are to believe that the black community, black men, the black manosphere is misogynistic and wants to keep black women at a lower social status that black women don't occupy now. So how can black men keep you in a position you don't occupy within the black community? So in other words, that would mean that black men would have to put black women in a lower social status and then keep them there to be misogynistic. Huh. The black community that produces black men like Kim Foster's boyfriend, who she claims is not misogynistic, is then turned around and called misogynistic. Huh. So we have black women complaining about black men wanting to go 50-50, black men not being ambitious enough, black men essentially not practicing toxic masculinity like how white men do. These are the same black women that want white toxic masculine white men. Okay, whatever. Right? So we have black women complaining that black men aren't toxic masculine chocolate dip white men, and then turning around and then calling black men, specifically the black manosphere, misogynistic. Wait, what? Huh? Huh? Misogynistic. Misogyny. A hatred of women. Wanting to keep women part of a lower class, social class, lower social class. Huh? And black men, the black manosphere, is hit with claims of being misogynistic. And this is coming from a black woman who has her own class issues and lets you know that the black community doesn't respect class. Uh-oh. Lets you know she couldn't see herself with a blue collar black man because of the schism of, oh, wait for it, class. And those men tend to not respect class. Oops. And how class presents itself. Yikes. And how class is supposed to look. Oof. They don't respect formal education. Yikes. The same black woman who's calling black men, definitely black men, that's part of the black manosphere, misogynistic, make sure to let us know she's of a different class than you lowly Negroes. Shout out to Black Uru, you low born Negroes, right? And this woman, and FD signifier, black man, black woman, calling the black men in the black manosphere misogynistic. And act like the word misandry is made up. It's not real. Black women have white society putting the thumb on the scales for them. Joe Scarborough, who's not a liberal, making sure to speak positively about black women in a vacuum. What's Jewish homeboy off of Hot 97 again? Making sure to speak positively. The one that did the show with Ebro, making sure to speak positively about black women and black women voting patterns in a vacuum. Huh? Joe Biden administration making sure to say black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Once again, speaking positively about black women in a vacuum. Rosenberg, thank you, Rosenberg. Huh? So that's conservative white man, more liberal white man, president white man, blue dog Democrat. Huh? Right? And we are to believe that in a country where white folks have clearly shown you they would much rather have black women around them than black men, especially if black men ain't bringing them ungodly amounts of money. If they can't extort and exploit black men, they would much rather have black women around them. They're going to still extort and exploit you, but you know. We are to believe that within the black community that exists in this white hegemonic colonial state, we are to believe that the black community that exists in America, black women are put at a lower social status than black men. Even when white folks make sure to speak positively about black women in a vacuum. Even though white folks like Goldman Sachs make sure to put their thumb on the scale for black women, Even though black men like FD Signifier let it be known, I am not going to criticize or critique black women's bad behavior. And when other black women let you know, me neither. Even when you have black men like Torre who hear a black woman like Ebony K. Williams show you all the toxic trait of boss girl feminism, she exhibits all of them. And Torre still attempts, that's a black man, Torre still attempts to frame their conversation in a flattering light for Ebony K. Williams. While he's literally sitting in front of her and she's spewing out all the toxic traits of boss girl feminism. And we are to believe that black men are misogynist. Black men in the black manosphere are misogynist. And the goal for black men is to maintain some fictitious patriarchy that doesn't exist and to keep black women part of a lower social class. And remember, black men like yours truly are then told that we don't understand the definition and meaning of words. That we don't know how to read data. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Black women are running all across social media. We even have phrases like Beyonce, wait a minute, isn't that a black woman? Yes, it is. We even have phrases like Beyonce's internet in the black community. And yet we're supposed to believe that black men are misogynistic. We literally have terms like beehive for black people, people in general, black people specifically, black women even more specifically, that are followers and groupies and fans of Beyonce, and yet we're supposed to believe that black men are misogynistic. But I'll continue. On Beyonce's internet are black women running around extolling the virtues of white patriarchy, of white men, belittling, insulting, demeaning black men, coming from a right-leaning angle, coming from a left-leaning angle. And we are to believe that a community full of black people, where black women are encouraged, let's say that part one more again, encouraged to speak negatively about black men so that white folks can hide their racism and their anti-blackness, specifically about black men, behind black women. We are to believe that the black community is not misandrist, no, but misogynist. You imagine? Imagine that. Imagine that. Miss Amala has had at least 2 videos now showcasing black women speaking negatively about their relationships with black men while implying, suggesting, and just outright saying anything but black men is better. And in that same community, we are told that black men are the ones that are misogynistic. The black manosphere is misogynistic. Cynthia G was allowed to run amok. And did we even have one black woman of note and prominence? One black woman of pull? One black woman with some influence and some power say anything about getting Cynthia G deplatformed? Did we have one? Cynthia G was well known. She was known enough. She made multiple appearances on different people's channel across the internet. She made multiple appearances on Fox Soul. She said abort black male babies on Fox Soul. She said it to Dr. Umar Johnson's face. We are to believe that the black community is misogynistic when one of the most famous black people in the black community right now, Dr. Umar Johnson, was told to his face by a black woman that we need to abort black male babies. And we think the black community is misogynistic. And that we're attempting, black men, and specifically the black manosphere, is attempting to keep black women at a lower social status when black women can look black men in the face and speak about aborting black male babies. Huh. Yeah. So black women get to chastise black men for their voting patterns, right? Black women get to and tell black men, black male voters, that no one asks for your unsolicited opinions. Black women get to compare black men to non-black men, specifically white men, and deem black men lacking. Black women get to insinuate, suggest, infer that black men are lesser men, straight up say that black men are lesser men, imply, suggest, infer that black men are same-sex loving or effeminate, while also black men are hyper masculine. How do both occupy the same space? I don't know. Right? Black women get to speak about aborting black male children. Black women get to run to white society asking for handouts and set aside specifically for black women and girls. Black women get to press and bully other black women who don't speak negatively about black men. Black women get to hope, pray, suggest, pressure black women to divorce their husbands because their husbands didn't pay the appropriate fealty to his black wife, by extension, black women. Black women get to do this in public, mind you, not in the back corners of the black community. No, 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 no. Black women get to do all of this in public. And yet we're told the black community, black men specifically, even more specifically, the black manosphere, is full of misogynists and black men. And the black manosphere specifically is misogynistic. Wow. Black men are misogynistic, and yet Rolling Stone is interviewing black women that call black men nakers. As in Rolling Stone interviewing Paris Malone. Huh. Yeah. But the black community is misogynistic. Black men. Let's read that definition for misogyny one more again, because maybe Mr. Z, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Misogyny is hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women or girls. It is a form of sexism that can keep women at a lower social status than men, thus maintaining the social roles of patriarchy. Misogyny has been widely practiced for thousands of years. Huh. What's the other definition? Right? Misogynist. A person who dislikes, despises, or strongly prejudice against women. Prejudice against women. So we're supposed to believe that in a community where a rich, wealthy black man such as Byron Allen hires a black woman who turns around and calls the majority of black men mediocre, we're supposed to believe that community is full of misogynists, where a black man is technically paying for a black woman to call other black men mediocre. Huh. That's the community that's supposed to be full of misogynists, right? Hmm. A community where we say the women are the backbone of the community is supposedly full of misogynists. Huh. A community where presidential aides are literally saying, that's a black woman, saying to black men, no one asked you for your unsolicited opinions. A community where former chairman of a whole entire political party, Michael Steele, Republican, says if you want to know who black men are going to vote for, ask black women. That's the community that's full of misogynists. Huh. Yeah. So when Kim Foster, an FD signifier, when Kim Foster essentially implies that the black manosphere, unlike her boyfriend, right? And it's interesting because one of the comments said, it's so hard trying to find men that are not misogynists. No, you mean it's so difficult to find black men that kiss black women's ass, specifically in public, and extol the greatness of their girlfriend and their black girlfriend, their black wife, everywhere they go for every second of every day. That's what it's difficult to find. A black man that says, you right, I'm gonna just shut my mouth because I'm not a white man. I didn't go and rape and pillage and conquer and destroy the planet to give to you so that you can look down on other people. So you right, I gotta kiss your ass every second of every day. My apologies, black women. It should have been black men who went around the planet, rape, pillage, conquered, destroyed for you and your beauty. So we could put you on the beauty standard, on the beauty pedestal. Huh? We're to believe that the black community is full of these raving, raging misogynists. A black community where white hegemonic colonial power is putting the thumb on the scales for black women. A community that endorsed deadbeat fathers for decades. A community where a popular saying is these men ain't ish. Black men ain't ish. Black fathers are deadbeat fathers. Referring to black men as sperm donors. Black fathers, mind you. That's the same community. A community with dozens of movies and books insulting black men. Movies like Waiting to Excel and Color Purple and etc. etc. And black men are the supposed misogynist. A community where black women can continue to do the woe is me, begging for sympathy from white people so that these black women can hopefully end up with white people's white sons and be elevated in this society merely for the fact that she's been chosen by a white man, hopefully by a white man of some status and prominence. That's the community that we're saying is full of men that are misogynist, specifically towards black women, right? Misogynoir. Huh. Exactly. Exactly, Indigo. And Indigo says, and even as a crack fiend mama, you always was a black queen mama. Arguably the most famous rapper, definitely top five famous rappers in hip hop history, has a song that literally says, even though you were a crack fiend mama, you were always a black queen mama. Now, can we find your equivalent song from a black woman dedicated to her black father? Because I know we have Beyonce with Daddy's Little Girl and whatnot, but where does she say that? Even with all of your shortcomings, even though you were caught in the rapture of this hard drug, you were always a king to me. That's the community we are led to believe is full of misogynists. A community where black therapists can chastise black men. A community full of people being demeaning, insulting, belittling to black men, reprimanding black men every chance they get. That's the community that we're told is full of misogynists. And y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. And this is why we call it the reckless streams, everyone. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So, um, I think that serious diatribe, and let me finally think. And y'all like, share, subscribe. See, hit the super chat. Anubis for the super. I guess it's a super chat with the coffee mug. Yes, Mr. Z definitely needs some type of caffeine in his life right now. Right, some type of caffeine. I need to get on my girls program because she drink tea. She do it the right way. She don't be drinking that poison I'll be drinking. Right. So I need to get on her program when it comes to that. But yeah. So I definitely want to cover these things today. Um, because it's very interesting that all of these conversations are happening simultaneously. Although the Amala stuff is a bit older, it's her most recent video is about 2 years old, and I said 2 years, sorry, 2 months old, right? Her most recent video is two months old. When it comes to this black women dating out and marrying out, and by the way, Miss Amala, I guess because I see it as you attempting to explain why so many black women are speaking this way about black men. Just be honest. It's black women's anti-blackness, right? That you don't have to do all of this thing that you're doing. Just call a thing a thing. It's black women's anti-blackness. Black women are speaking this way about black men because this is how black women exhibit their anti-blackness. They frame it as being the victim of black men and being on the wrong side of black men's ineptitude and laziness and not striving for anything, and black men in this ghetto culture, this underbelly culture that they continue to prop up. They frame it like that black men don't have any motivation and drive to fit into this white colonial state ass. Mr. Z, pull back. Anyway, right. So that's how Miss Amala, especially coming from the more conservative side of the political spectrum, of course she's gonna frame it like that. But she's still doing the "woe is me, woe is black women" thing, just a little different than how Kim Foster would do it. Because once again, Kim Foster comes from the left side of things, but not really. Notice how these black women kind of overlap when it comes to beating up and defecating on black men. That's the one thing they do agree on, right? They may not agree on a lot, but the black men ain't ish. Oh yeah, that's the one thing they do agree on, right? Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, right? Huh. So when it comes to black men, Kim Foster moves further to the right. When it comes to black men, Miss Amala moves further to the left. Yep, that part. I guess that means when it comes to defecating on black men, there is no left, right, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, progressive, right, libertarian. Nope. When it comes to defecating on black men, it's black men ain't ish, and we all agree, right? Huh. So the Miss Amalas of the world are perfectly okay with white racist folks hiding their racism, Latinos and Asians and whoever hiding their anti-blackness and their racism behind black women talking crap about black men. I guess that's okay because black women are showing their racist bona fides too. God damn, Mr. Z. Right? Huh. You imagine we live in a society where black women are celebrated for marrying outside of the black race because it shows America overcoming its racist anti-black past, and it shows specifically when it's a white man of note. It shows that finally Bell Hook's dream of white men of prominence and note elevating black women is a sign of America not being so anti-black and racist. And so when black women end up with white men, particularly white men of prominence and note, that's a sign of America shedding its racist past in history. While these black women make movies, make songs, insult black men, belittle black men, allow and encourage non-black people to make fun of black men, insult black men, belittle black men behind and under the guise of speaking positively about black women. Huh. Good point. And the Bunker TV says, just like white supremacists calls everything woke, black women call everything misogyny. Good point. Right? So I thought I would come to y'all with this early today. Mr. Z will be Black Manosphere Show of the Week. So y'all check out the link in the description. I have a favor for the family. Please, for the love of God, because somebody sent it to me before and a way old stream, and I cannot find it for the love of God. I am looking for one very specific video. I've asked for it before. If anybody knows or remembers what video this person sent the link to, you could just resend it to this video. I am looking for the video of the light-skinned black woman that was being interviewed. She looked a little bit younger. She looked like she was maybe in her mid-20s, where she said, "If I earn more than you, I will mistreat you." And if you can put it in the comments for this, please, not in these live comments because this won't populate early enough for when I do my stream later, but in the comments after this video, after this live, please, if anyone remembers that video or you know where to find that interview, please, because it's going to speak to something that I want to say later on today for the Black Manosphere Show of the Week. It's an interview, and the lighter skinned black woman was speaking to the interviewer, black man, and she was saying, "If I earn more than you, I will mistreat you." Right. So if anybody knows where to find that, please put it in the comments for this video after this video. Right. Do not put it in the live comments because it won't populate early enough for me to use it later. Yeah. So, but I definitely wanted to come to y'all with this because between Miss Samantha Cooker speaking about that hard wig soft life thing and speaking about it as if when black women drop the urban aesthetic and when they drop the hood ish and when they drop this stuff, that's when they're able to pull and attract white men and non-black men, and although there are black men, obviously, specifically part of the Black Manosphere, that would love for black women to drop the neon colored, highlighter color, fuchsia pink weaves and drop the claws and drop the heavy tattoos, although there are plenty of black men, there is something to be said, and there is a moment for pause when black women say that, but they really are only doing that for non-black men, specifically white men. In other words, black men, you are not worth me not practicing negative liberty and giving society the middle finger by having all of these tattoos, by having this hair color, by having these claws, essentially telling society, namely black men, to kiss my ass. But for me to pull a white man, I am okay with doing all of this for the white male gaze. I won't do anything for the black male gaze. I'll pretend like I'm doing this for the black male gaze. That's the very fascinating part. I'll pretend like the highlighter weave is for the black male gaze. I'll pretend like the claws are for the black male gaze. I'll frame it like that when I'm around white folks. Right? I'll pretend like the snuffleupagus eyelashes are for the black male gaze. But when I want to end up with Bartholomew III, I'll take all of that off and I'll turn all of this down. When I want the white man, that's when I'll finally adhere to some type of standards, norms, and rules. I'll do this for the white male gaze. I won't do anything for the black male gaze. I'll tell black men, you got to take me how I come. However I present myself, that's how you got to take me. Huh. So in that space where Samantha Cooker is speaking like that, and in the space where Miss Amala is showing video after video of black women speaking how they're through dating black men and they're going to quote unquote expand their options, do anything for white zaddy, do anything for white zaddy to bless them with a wedding ring and some mixed children. In the environment where Miss Samantha Cooker and Miss Amala exist, is also Kim Foster calling black men, specifically black men, part of the black manosphere, misogynistic, unlike her black boyfriend. Huh. Who's a product of the black community. Huh. Yeah. Yep. Just saying, y'all. Just saying. So, on that note, everyone, we will pause right there. Um, I definitely want to come to y'all with this morning. I think it was important that we address Kim Foster, FD Signifier, the entire black left and black bread tube who continue to use this word misogynist and misogynistic concerning black men and the black manosphere specifically, when clearly that word doesn't apply. Find another word. Clearly that word doesn't apply. Hatred of women, trying to keep women part of a lower social class, black women, misogynist and misogynoir do not apply specifically to black men. Try something else. Right? Use another word. So I definitely thought it was time to do that. I thought it was time to call Miss Amala for what she's doing, allowing white racist and non-black anti-black people to hide behind her and other black women, given their horrible takes of black men in dating. Right? Given horrible takes of black men in dating black men, and Miss Amala, who's pretty much probably putting this out there to show why she's probably on the white penis chase. Right? Miss Amala, if you want to end up with a white dude, or if you already got a white dude, you don't got to explain it to everybody. Right? You don't have to use other black women in their videos to explain why you are on the white penis chase. And Miss Samantha Cooker, if y'all want to do what y'all want to do for the white male gaze, right? If y'all want to, tone it down, take the tattoos off, right? Walk around with your natural hair, all the things that black men beg y'all to do. Take off the claws. Take off the snuffleupagus eyelashes, right? If y'all want to do all of that for the white men while you're giving black men the middle finger and say, yeah, I would never do all of that for you. Black women want to use the word worthy. Here we go. Y'all are not worthy. Black women want to use the word deserving. Y'all are not deserving. Dear black men, you're not worthy or deserving. Huh? So black women will do this for white men. Black women will be demure and chill and relaxed and understanding and pliable, and for white men they'll be softer and more feminine for white men. Which is interesting because they'll also mule for white men. These same black women who say, I'm not muling for no black men. Blackistan, right? No more struggle love. Black women that say no struggle love are perfectly okay with going 50-50 with the white man. Crap. Even 60-40, 60 on their end, 40 with the white man. And they'll be kissing the ground he walks on if he goes 60-40 with them. Crap. If he goes 70-30 with them, 80-20. And if he's 100% financial, oh, they'll worship the ground he walks on. Oh, Kev C, I will put the videos in the description box after. Yeah, there's the couple of videos from Miss Amala. There's Samantha Cooker, and then there's Kim Foster. Right? Yeah, it's about 4 videos that inspired this morning, because we have to address how black women are trying to frame this right now, especially as I said last night on BGS's stream, as the money dries up, as those interest rates start to hit people upside the head, right? As America goes through another round of its own version of austerity potentially, although in America most people don't know the term austerity. That's something you hear in developing countries, maybe even some European countries. As America get a little bit more tight with the money, and black women have to feel that, here comes black women begging white men by throwing black men under the bus. Here go black women and their crocodile tears, calling black men misogynist and misogynistic, namely black men part of the black manosphere, and then comparing those black men to their black boyfriend who's not misogynist. Okay. Right? So on that note, everyone, as I said, if anyone can find that video, please, if anyone can find that interview, that video, it wasn't Daily Wrap Up Crew. It was another one of those type of shows where and I can't remember, like, if y'all don't, if it's not even, if even if y'all can't find it, if somebody could put in the comments once again after this stream, if y'all could put a like a list of names of like those type of like dating type shows, because this interview had to be like, what are we in 2023, this interview had to be maybe 2019, maybe 2018, 2019, maybe even 2020. I don't even think it was 2020, it was probably more like 2019, where this brother was speaking to the sister about these different things. It was a light-skinned black woman, and she said, yeah, because if I earn more than you, I will mistreat you. And essentially she was trying to go into the direction where, like, isn't that what the men do, and da da da. But yeah, she had a kid. I loosely remember the interview, but I really want to snip out that part where she says, if I earn more than you, or if I make more than you, I will mistreat you. Because I want to tie that to something I want to say later on today, because I'm supposed to be Black Manosphere Show of the Week. Right? So if anybody can find that, please put the link in the comments, or you can email me the comments after this video, please and thank you. And yeah, y'all. So on that note, I'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Yeah, and I think it's very important. Mr. Shook to you, Sid. Rachel Lindsay, racial hypergamy. A. And what I'm speaking to is racial hypergamy. Absolutely. What I'm speaking to is black women practicing racial hypergamy by doing what America loves to do the most: insult, belittle, demean black men. And as you can see, that's why I brought up Miss Amala and Miss Kim Foster, both from the political left and the political right, right? On both sides of the political spectrum are black women insulting black men. They just frame it just a smidge differently, right? But it's always Black men are not showing up. Black men are lacking. Woe is me. White zaddy, come help me. So for Kim Foster, because she has a black boyfriend, it's white zaddy government, come help me and other black women with these passport bros and these black men who are speaking negatively about black women. And on Amala's side is white men, come save us from having to date and end up with these loser ass black men. Right. So once again, you know, outro, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. I'll pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. And I should be coming back to y'all later with the Black Manosphere show of the week. Please, if anybody can find that clip that I'm speaking about, please, for the love of God, send it to me. I spent so long looking for this thing yesterday and I could not find it. But all right, y'all. And on that note, Mr. Z is out. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day.